Well, hello. I'm here to talk about my Scream Factory collection. Scream Factory is an awesome company that specializes in releasing horror films that many people may have forgotten about. However, me and many others consider to be bona fide classics. Now, right off the bat, I don't go way out of my way to find the first run limited edition slipcovers for all these. They are nice to have, so you can have the newly commissioned art and the original art in the same release, and that's pretty cool. However, it's really easy to overpay for those, and they can be kind of a pain to find. So, anyways, let's get into them Scream Factories. First up is Army of Darkness. I feel like everyone knows about this. Nonetheless, it's a fantastic film starring Bruce Campbell. This film has had many releases throughout the years. However, this is probably the definitive release. It comes with all three of its cuts: the theatrical version, director's cut, and the international cut. So if you have lots of time on your hands, you can watch all three of them. I've watched the director's cut on this, and it looks pretty fantastic. So yeah, watch Bruce Campbell whip off them one-liners. Assault in Precinct 13, one of John Carpenter's earlier films. I still haven't seen Dark Star, which I'm excited to see, which is his first film. Not my favorite of his, but still definitely a fun watch. Audition by Takashi Miike. Probably his most widely known and loved film, for a good reason. Black Christmas. One of many Christmas-themed horror films, if you can believe that. This is probably the best one in my opinion. It's legitimately creepy in some parts and unsettling. Body Bags, directed by John Carpenter and Tobe Hooper. This is a really fun anthology film. All three of the shorts are pretty solid and definitely fun to watch. Carrie by Brian De Palma. This is a fantastic movie. You probably have all seen this. I've seen this movie a million times, but I like it more and more every time I watch it. It's a masterfully made horror film. Day of the Dead by George A. Romero. Not as widely loved as Night of the Living Dead or Dawn of the Dead. I still like it just as much, honestly. This is probably Tom Savini's masterpiece. The gore effects in this film are legitimately sickening. Dead Ringers, one of Cronenberg's earlier films. Definitely a fun watch. Jeremy Irons gives a really great performance in this. He plays two different characters. Criterion released this way back in the day, and it was super hard to find, so I'm glad Scream Factory put this one out. Dolls, They Walk, They Talk, They Kill. Directed by Stuart Gordon, the same guy who made Reanimator and From Beyond. This is maybe not as good as those, but it's definitely super fun to watch. Some great stop motion animation in this, so definitely check it out. Gotta love Escape from New York. It's one of my favorites of John Carpenter's. Super fun, cheesy 80s goodness. The Funhouse, directed by Tobe Hooper. Not one of his better films in my opinion, but it's still a fun watch. It takes place in a carnival. Halloween, all 10 of them. One day I'll sit down and watch all these. As of now, I've only seen the first one, but you know, everyone loves the first Halloween, right? Halloween 2. I believe this was Scream Factory's first release. Yeah, you can definitely overpay for this. I found it in a place for very cheap, so one day I'll watch this. The Incredible Melting Man. I'm sure is super fun. If it's dumb, I'll probably like it. If it's not, then I probably won't, so. Invasion of the Body Snatchers. This is the 80s remake with Donald Sutherland. This is a fantastic movie. I might say it's as good as the original. Definitely a lot of fun. Jeff Goldblum makes a little cameo in this. The Lawnmower Man from 1992. I watched this last night. I watched the director's cut and didn't realize how long it was going to be. There's some fun moments in this. I'm sure there's a good movie in this 2.5 hour long slog. And then I open it up and the theatrical cut is about an hour shorter. So that may be what that is, so I don't know. Life Force, directed by Tobe Hooper. This is a fantastic sci-fi horror film. The effects are pretty amazing in this, actually. The same guy who did the Star Wars effects did this one. Yeah, check it out. It's really silly, over the top, everything you'd want in a movie like this. Mad Max, the first one. I'm sure it's good. I haven't seen it yet, but you know, you can find this pretty much anywhere nowadays, so yeah, one day. Motel Hell. This is a fantastic, silly, fun 80s horror film. The effects are pretty great. The ending of this film is pretty iconic, so worth checking out for sure. The People Under the Stairs by Wes Craven. Definitely watch this movie. Phantom of the Paradise by Brian De Palma. This film is so good. I watched it and I immediately wanted to pop it back in and watch it again. It's a rock opera, sort of before Rocky Horror came out. Prince of Darkness, pretty great. John Carpenter film. Underrated, I'd even say, possibly. Alice Cooper makes kind of a fun cameo in this. If you're not sure about this one, I'd say definitely go for it. Kind of an interesting premise to this. Rabid. Started watching this at some point and fell asleep. I need to rewatch this. Raising Cane is a film that I got yesterday, and the price was very wrong. That was marked on it, so I took full advantage of that. I'm looking forward to checking this one out. It's directed by Brian De Palma. Return of the Living Dead. This is probably one of the best zombie films ever made. It's got an amazing soundtrack. Come on, punk rock zombies. Serial Mom, directed by John Waters. This movie exceeded all of my expectations, which, come on, it's John Waters. I should have known that it was going to be great. Silent Night, Deadly Night. Beautiful artwork on this, clearly a Christmas-themed slasher, sleepaway camp. I saw this for the first time in the theater, actually. A local theater around here did a showing of it, and the crowd just ate it up. It was so funny. Everything about this film is just kind of wrong in all the right ways. It's a great 80s slasher. Definitely check this out. Slither, before James Gunn made Guardians of the Galaxy. This film is hilarious, starring Michael Rooker as this blob monster thing. Terrorvision and The Video Dead. Now, why would you own those two movies? Well, Terrorvision is so stupid and has the worst dialogue and is so ridiculous. I watched it and immediately showed my wife directly afterwards. I watched this film twice in one day. It's that weird. It's super entertaining. The Video Dead is also fun, not as fun as Terrorvision, but this is probably one of Scream Factory's better releases, honestly. I think neither of these even had a DVD release before this. It was just VHS, so. Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2. This film is so good. Definitely hated upon when it first came out. People wanted this kind of gritty follow-up to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This came out almost a decade later, and it's turned out to be kind of a spoof satire of the original. They Live. This movie is phenomenal. That 5-minute fight sequence alone is, worth the price of admission. Now, one of my all-time favorite films, The Thing. This version is fantastic. It's never looked better. It comes with some great documentaries about the making of this. It's got groundbreaking special effects and great tension. Troll and Troll 2 are films that you should be embarrassed to own on Blu-ray. Troll 2 is, widely known as one of the worst films ever made. That's debatable in my opinion. I got this mainly for the Best Worst Movie documentary, which is pretty cool. The cast kind of talking about how much of a nightmare this film was to make. Last up from Scream Factory is Vampire's Kiss and High Spirits double feature. I got this only for Vampire's Kiss, one of Nick Cage's more ridiculous performances. You see him shout the alphabet at somebody, so that's definitely worth buying this for sure. High Spirits, I honestly have no interest in watching. So those are all the Scream Factories that I own. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna keep going through my collection, sort of either by company or alphabetically, so but yeah, stay tuned for those future videos. Thanks.